Last week, I had the pleasure of making a video with Coach Ash Morgan about recurve draw weights and how the draw weights are probably a bit higher than what most club archers or even international archers realize. And Ash had a lot of data here. The video is linked at the end, so if you haven't watched it, please watch that one first. But following on from that, I had lots of questions about recurve draw exercises that we mentioned. Now, we casually mentioned the strength training, holding at full draw. And since then, I've had lots of questions, people asking me to make a video on that. Now, at the moment, I'm coaching away internationally, and I don't have the piece of equipment I need to show you. So what I'm gonna do, because we're all told to recycle nowadays, so I'm gonna recycle a movie that I made for another channel back in 2018. So forgive me for looking and sounding a bit different. It's just filmed in my previous back garden in England with international athlete Keith Harding. So it's an old video, it might look and sound not as professional as normal, but the contents, I just watched through it, the contents is actually really sound. So please forgive everything, enjoy the video, and let me know in the comments what you think.
Okay, like I said, I come back, do some bow drills. As it turns out, because I haven't shot for 6 years, I can't do bow drills. I just haven't got enough strength. So I went and got some assistance. As I mentioned earlier on, it's much easier to do bow drills if you've got a simple app. This app here, downloaded from the App Store, I think it was either free or maybe it was like 59p. I can set up the timer, so we have 5 seconds to warm up, then it goes to 30 seconds green, which is when you come to full draw, and then it goes 30 seconds to red, and that's your rest time, and then it just repeats itself. These are available on Android, iOS, everything, and it just works really well. Most people just have it on their phone, so you can chuck the phone on your bed, it bleeps, changes color, what more could anyone want? Also, in case you're wondering, this particular one is called interval timer, but honestly, there's dozens to choose from, so help yourself. So here's Keith, he's popped around to do some bow drills. As you can see, on his elbow here, it's got an elbow cup, so it's, instead of the load going through his fingers, the load is going through his elbow, and if you move it around so we can see on his string, this is all adjustable, because obviously depending on the length of people's arms, you might need a different length strap. These are readily available, and particularly from Clickers Archery, you can get Astra Shot Trainers is probably the best one, and the more traditional one is called a Form Master, isn't it?
Yes.
Some of them come with, just so we mention it here, instead of having this adjustable solid strap, some of them come with an elastic strap. To be honest with you, you really don't need the elastic. It's more expensive, sometimes fails, and that's a mess and painful. So just solid strap is absolutely fine. Right, so I'm gonna go over and press go. Are you ready for this, by the way?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna press go on the app. We've set it up for 5 seconds of warm up, and then 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back at the app. We don't need to see that I've got a calendar event coming. I'm gonna start the app. Nice noise, this is the warm up. Now we come round. Keith draws up, so the load is going through his elbow. Even though his fingers are in the position where his release would normally be, if you just wiggle your fingers, you can see there's no load on there, so he's not gonna get tendonitis. Because if you do this without an elbow strap, you end up with tendonitis in your fingers. It can be really painful. And he's just gonna hold it still at full draw, exercising those muscles as the machine counts down. Hope he's not struggling too much.
Only a little bit.
And then when it gets to the end, buzzer goes again, and now you get 30 seconds of rest. Now to start with, doing this, I think 30 seconds up, 30 seconds up, doing this, 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down is a great way to start with no movement. But because Keith is an absolute pro at this, the next 30 seconds, I want you to be pulling through the clicker zone. So we're gonna pull through that last centimeter where your clicker is. So for this 30 seconds, Keith is just gonna, I just want a centimeter of backwards and forwards, okay?
Like this.
Yeah, maybe even slightly less. You don't know what centimeter is.
No.
But just a little bit. This, I assure you, this is so much harder than just doing 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down statically. Just that little movement, and you are building up the strength just where you need it. Just coming through that expansion zone, it will burn so much more. but I'd only progress onto this once you've been able to do 10 minutes of static, okay? So once you've done 10 minutes of static, where you can do 30 seconds up, 30 seconds down for 10 minutes, you can then move on to this, we'll call it clicker zone exercise, okay?
Yeah.
Was that harder then?
Yes, I would say as well, probably, don't jump in with your normal competition bow. If you've got some lighter limbs that you'd use for training or volume training, then certainly start with those. You are putting quite a lot of stress on your skeletal structure, so yeah.
You missed the start of your workout, come on.
Don't jump in with your...
Come on, draw up, I don't want any slack in here.
What are we doing now?
You're
Same
going to keep
thing?
doing the movement ones because you're meant to be nice and strong.
How many seconds was I behind?
I think you need to add on an extra 5, I say.
Okay.
But if you guys at home, I'm sure you can understand it. So yes, start off with a lighter bow might be a great idea. Some of you might find 10 minutes. 10 minutes is like, if you can do 10 minutes static, then add in the micro movements through the clicker zone. This will make more difference to your shooting than anything else. That's it, do a few extra seconds. You can come down now. Well done. We've only got another half an hour to go, okay?
Get the drinks in.
Welcome back. Sorry that I'm 8 years older. I hope you found that useful and interesting. Watching it now, I would probably, Keith was moving just a little bit too fast. For me, I would have slowed that down and had him come through just like he was shooting, just a slow expanse, forward, slow expanse, forward. But apart from that, I think all the information in there is still sound and still relevant. And like we touched in our original video, some teams do this for 1 hour a day at the end of training of each day, okay? This is considered a substantial tool for building up recurve artery strength. And of course, like all exercises, don't run into it too aggressively, don't do too much too early. Always listen to your body. Any stabbing pains, stop, but just build it up slowly. And personally, this is the only exercise I would recognize in my shooting if I didn't do it. If I stopped running 5K a day, I didn't really notice the difference. Maybe at the end of a weekend I was a little bit more tired, but this one, I notice it on my aim, and I notice it on my release, and I notice it when I'm shooting compound 2. This exercise would make my compound aim better. Doing it with a recurve bow, not a compound bow, because it would build up my strength here. So as a compound archer, I was building up my strength at full draw. So I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions in the comment? And if anyone would like any one-to-one archery coaching with me, I still have some vacancies available. All the details are in the description. All right, good shooting.